Hi everyone, welcome back. Yes, we're going to be doing some fun stuff today. First thing is I want to share with you my prototype, and it's this one. And I don't think I'm finished with this yet, but what I want to tell you is that we're going to be taking crayons and melting them to this canvas. So I got these canvases. They were 10 in a package, and I got them from Ross. I always go into like the little craft section that they have at Ross to see what I can find discounted. Funny thing is, I saw some recollection tape there, some washi tape from Michael's. So yeah, interesting. It was not a good enough deal. It was $11.99 for 12 tubes. Not 12 tubes, 12 washies in a tube, kind of like this, but not. It was Recollection brand. So anyway, let's go ahead and go over a few things. So in my doing this, I haven't watched a video of anyone doing this. I was inspired by a creation that my son school did last year for the Christmas presents to the parents, which was a ornament with flecks of crayon melted into the ornament, as well as if you've been Christmas shopping, even though you'll see this video way later than Christmas, if you've been Christmas shopping, then you probably have seen a lot of Crayola brand things for sale. And they have one where they have crayons glued to the top that are melted down. And that's really what I wanted to try and do. Not glue crayons to the top, but in trial and error, I realized that I want to color my surface some. So what I am going to attempt to do is actually color my surface. Excuse the scraping. I know some of you don't like that sound. I do apologize. And I want to get max coverage. So I don't want to have like any, I want the colors to go over all of the canvas, okay? Excuse my nasal sounding self. This weather, I recover from something and I get sick again. So please excuse that. So my head is congested. I tried taking the emergency, you know, before you get sick. I felt it coming on. Is that emergency? Yes, that's a little liquid stuff. And then it didn't work. Not for me, at least. So I've been actually trying to take regular medication. Not regular medication, but medicine like Tylenol for achy body and bones. So I want to just say I'm not familiar with the color wheel, as in the color theory. I don't want to make mud, so I just have to be cognitive of that. But I know that red and blue make purple. So I think purple is an okay color to do. You just got to be careful with that. You don't want to put too much on there because I'm going to add another color. And I don't want to rub 2 or 3 colors together and then all of a sudden we have brown. Even though brown is a nice color, I just don't want brown. I don't want a mud canvas. I do plan on putting these up in my craft area if they're decent pictures, or giving them to my aunt. She likes my craft creations, which I'm very thankful for, and I'm not sure if she does it for pity, since my mom can't take my junk off my hands. I guess maybe she's like, I'll take the junk off her hand. But I'm grateful nonetheless that I actually have people that, blood relatives I should say, that will take junk off my hand, craft junk. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, which is probably, you're probably thinking, what in the world? I am going to pull out my ink, if I can find it without making too much noise. I'm going to pull out my ink, And I'm going to just rub the pad around this, and I'm going to put some embossing on, and then we'll get started. Okay, I could not find what I was looking for, and that's okay, because I don't know what I did with it. So as you can see, you see a little bit of sprinkles around. And now I'm going to turn on my heat tool. And to keep it from blowing all over the place, I am using this as kind of like a deterrent. And I'm going to go over all of this entire surface. Even the part where I just put the crayons down. Okay, so that is the first step in this. For me, I'm quite sure there's other ways to do this, but this is how I want to do it. Now, what I'm going to do is use my Fiskars pencil sharpener, and I am going to sharpen some crayons because I need the shavings from the crayons. And I just did a pink and a red first, because I'm not working in a good situation here. I'm only doing it piece by piece. I'm not doing it all over the place, I guess you could say, because these little shavings will fly away. And I think that you probably could use some glue to stick down your crayons, but I don't want to do that in this situation. Maybe in the future I may do it. And I'm just going to take my finger, and it's still plastic. I guess the crayon shaving is still plastic. It's not melted because the surface is no longer wet, or hot, I should say, not wet. But I want to keep it kind of here, because once I hit it with the heating tool, it will start, the shavings will fly away. I'm going to have to figure out how to clean this matte at some point, like give it a good cleaning. So I'm going to go at it at an angle first, and you can see that it's starting to melt. And now I'm just going directly over it. You can start off however you like. It is your creation, it is your project. Be careful not to get too close. If you can see it was starting to smoke, because I had the heating tool directly on like almost touching the canvas. So just be careful of that. You definitely don't want to start any type of fire while creating. Now, the beauty about moving plastic or crayon, I'm not sure if it's really plastic, but it appears to be plastic, is that if it's still wet, you can change the direction of this project. Okay, and if you can see, it's slowly starting to run down. And that's really how the projects, when you go to the store, you see that they have the crayons glued to the top and it's just running down. I didn't want to do that. This is what I want. This project, how you see it, is definitely how I envision it to be. I really wanted to try and like draw a picture or something like that. And I was like, you pushing it. So now I'm just going to use some purple. And the crayons that I'm using are from a time that my little roommate and I went out to eat at a restaurant. And some crayons that I got in a color packet from the Dollar Tree. I wouldn't use my personal stash of crayons to do this project. I'm just using some throwaway colors, if you will. Some throw away crayons. I don't want to use my good stuff, my good supply on this project, because then I would be upset that I've shaved down all my crayons and I have none to color with when I do my color with me's. Because I did buy, I have several coloring books that I'm going to be trying to do some color with me with regular crayons versus color pencils and things like that. The only thing is that in my head, sometimes I feel like I need to color things, either the color that they are, or go really abstract and color them totally weird colors. So I'll probably be coloring some totally weird colors versus the way it should be. I hope that makes sense, right? And this project can be overdone or underdone. It depends on how much you want on there, how much color you want on your canvas. It's definitely up to you. And now if you can see how it's kind of pulled into that one area, what we're going to be doing is melting it down some. And now what I want to do, because I think I can do things with more than one hand, I'm going to let it run down, and I'm going to use the heating tool and continue to, you can see it, I'm going to continue to melt this wax down on this project. This is definitely not an original idea. I'm quite sure people have done this in the past. This is probably my first time doing it. It is my first time doing it on camera and sharing with everyone. But I do like abstract canvases, abstract creations. I just haven't done a lot of that on this channel. I think paper crafting has my heart right now. But I feel like I'm moving out of the paper crafting into other things realm with fabric and such. And if you notice right here, it almost kind of looks like a watercolor because it's so indented into the canvas. Even right there, how I just did that. So that project depends on how much you want or don't want on there. You could call it done, but you know, sometimes you got to be extra with it, and I just don't want a big blob of purple. So now I'm going to get this yellow out and put some yellow on this project. I've been up since 2 something this morning, and I said, you're gonna craft. So what do? I wake up, I come in the living room, and I sit there and I play a game for like an hour, a video game on my phone. When I really wanted to craft, but I feel like today is going to be a super busy day for me. I have a few things I need to get accomplished before Christmas, which is tomorrow. Even though you won't see this video, that is when Christmas is for me. Alright. So again, I am going to let this run down some, but in this instance, I'm going to let it pull or run the opposite direction. I like the purple and yellow go well together. So I'm just going to heat it up some. Just the yellow section. You can see that. I'm going to let it run down. And as it blends in, you know, it does its own thing. if you've ever been inspired by going, like when you go places, like usually banks usually have like abstract pictures. I've always been inspired by those types of places to try and make my own wall art for my home. In some instances, it can be cheaper, and in other instances, you're better off buying it from the store. But in this instance, this really only cost me, if I was to divide these canvas up by price, by individual versus one total, I only spent probably like $2 on this. So I think this is worth being sold at a art institute or a museum for at least $3, right? So we're going to leave this one as is, and now I'm going to go and play with this one a little bit. And all I'm going to do with this one is change the direction of this. So I'm just going to blast it with this canvas. The heat tool. And on this one I put embossing ink as well. I put black and gold, or ebony is the name of it. I put ebony and whatever the gold color is on there. And this one definitely has more colors. It has all of the colors that I shaved down. And I just want to try to get it to blend some, because some of these crayons shavings kind of just stuck there. So I just want it to blend down a little bit, because I don't really want to have a lot of white space going on. This is something I think you can do with your children. Of course, you need to watch them very closely, because this heating tool is hot. And if they are curious, like most kids usually are, they will probably try and touch the paint as it runs down, which is not always a very good idea to do, even for adults. So that is something that we have to be careful of when we are doing this. Okay. So also what, oh no, I wanted to touch the floor. It's still hot. I'm trying to put on this stand, and I didn't place it properly. What you could do if you really wanted to, like once this dried, you can come in, and even now you can kind of come in and manipulate it a little bit if you wanted to. And I'm just going to color in this. And if you notice right here, it's kind of brownish, because obviously these two colors, probably the red and brown, does red and yellow, red, brown, and yellow, I think, no, red, green, and yellow, red, green, and yellow, I think red, green, and yellow make brown. I'm not quite sure if that's true, but anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this crazy melting crayon canvas art thing, and this is the first one. What does it look like to you? Melted crayons on canvas, huh? And then this one. I like both of them. I may do some extra stuff to them. I don't know yet. But for now, that is what we have. I really, really, really appreciate you tuning in to watch me create this. Thank you all for watching. Happy crafting.